Yo, Tom Fiddzy here with my live reaction and review of Spider-Man No Way Home. I literally got out of the cinema like maybe an hour ago, getting straight onto this. I know what some of you might be thinking, but Fiddzy, you haven't even finished your Hawkeye videos. You've only done 2 reviews. I'm sorry, I've been really busy, but this cannot wait. This was way too hype. I want to talk about it while it's fresh in my mind, and this is going to be big spoilers, pretty much from the get-go for Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend leave now. So I'm sucking on a Psycho Sweet because I got a cough. It's not that. It's just a normal cold. But I got to get through this video in one take to get up on YouTube. So I apologise if there are a few little coughs and splatters and stuff in there. I'm going to try it and go as fast as I can, as clear as I can. Anyway, spoilers are going to come for Spider-Man No Way Home from the get-go. If you haven't watched it, I'm sorry, then come back when you have watched it, please. Or just mute it and then just watch the whole thing. Get me that view time. So, spoilers in 5, 4, 3. I lost my cat and things. Anyway, doesn't matter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't in sync because I'm all flustered because I've got so much to speak about. I haven't been in a cinema since Avengers Endgame with that much cheering and whooping and like just general noise from the audience, all good noises. Yeah, I think maybe even more than Avengers Endgame. You know, people were clapping and cheering when Daredevil was on the screen. When he catched that brick, people were obviously with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire appeared, especially when Tobey Maguire appeared. People were cheering that he was going to appear before he even came through that portal. Like, the second Ned was like, I'm going to call another Spider-Man, let's give it another go. People were already cheering. There was already like a build-up in the room. And people were clapping. And yeah, I did say Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire because they are in it. All 3 of the live-action modern Spider-Men all on the screen at the same time. That was confirmed. They were lying. Andrew Garfield was lying badly for like a year, maybe more. And I hope he actually continues to deny it too. That would be really, really funny. And then like, yeah, in the fight, people were just, every time they had like little moments, people were giving them cheers. People had a cheer of, when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, what was it? He was Spider-Man 3. He was being called Spider-Man 3. When he caught MJ, and obviously, you know, did his kind of Gwen redemption, he got an like a cheer from that. Venom in the post-credits scene. Yeah, I'm talking post-credits got a cheer. There was applause at the end of the film. All the way at the end credits. Did you stay all the way to the end credits? I hope so, because I'm going to spoil it if you didn't. If you got up too early, it was the Doctor Strange trailer. People were cheering there. No one cheered when Shuma Gorath was in the trailer. In my head, I was screaming like, oh my God, Shuma Gorath! I can't believe it. And he looked exactly like he does in the comics, like he does in Marvel vs. Capcom. He looked exactly the same. I'm hyped for that. But this is about, I don't do trailer reactions on this channel. Not yet. But I just want to talk about that as well. Evil Doctor Strange was there. That got a cheer. Evil Doctor Strange got a cheer. People were like, whoa, it's Evil Doctor Strange. When Wanda appeared as well, even though I think a lot of people should know that, but I guess they don't. But when she appeared, that got a whoop. Never heard so much whooping and cheering before. And it made it an amazing spectacle to see in the cinema. Fantastic. And on top of that, it was a really good film. A fun film. There was a lot of good laughs, some great action, really amazing visuals. You know, you can nitpick some stuff in the film. And I will do at some point. But all in all, I thought it was a really, really enjoyable film. Great end to the Tom Holland first trilogy. I hear there's rumours that maybe there's more films still to come. This film definitely sets up more films to come, but also kind of ending it as well in a nice place if they did have to end it. But yeah, like, just the fact that we got to see conclusions and all 3 Spider-Men now together and the villains as well, and they all got like some redemption. And their characters got kind of fleshed out as well. It was really, really awesome. And yeah, just great to see some good villains on the screen as well. Tom Holland was amazing, and he's Spider-Man. Showed great character growth and some really, really like heart-wrenching moments, especially with Aunt May. The big Uncle Ben moment, and seeing the two older Spider-Men talking about their experiences was yeah, really you know, it was getting the waterworks going a little bit. And it's great to know as well that, you know, that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man were they were Spider-Men that have continued living in their own universes, and we get hints as to what's been going on, the films that we never saw. Andrew Garfield said he stopped pulling his punches for a little bit. He became quite lost after the events of Spider-Man 2. And it looks like Tobey Maguire settled down, but, you know, he still kept his, as he went like that, he's still got the thing. He still kept his Spider-Man gear ready to go if needed. I thought they were all really well. I really liked all of their chemistry. I really liked the villains' chemistry as well. What I really liked and what I really appreciated is actual Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and how they paid a lot of respect to his films, and you know, kind of acknowledged the fans' viewpoint. He was like, "Oh, I'm the lamest one." They were joking like, "They're like, no, you're not. You're not. You're amazing. You're the amazing Spider-Man." From Tobey Maguire, I thought that was really cool. And like, you know, fair play to Andrew Garfield for kind of playing on those little jokes that he's just maybe not the most liked of the Spider-Man films, or series, I should say. But yeah, it was just like, I really liked that they actually did that, and I just thought they gelled so well. It was just so natural seeing them as well. Like, it didn't feel forced or anything. Villains as well. It was great seeing villains talking to each other and acknowledging each other as well. You know, the ones that share universes knew each other, and like, I've seen news stories about each other. I thought that was really, really cool. And just hearing the villains chat with each other. What I really didn't expect to see in this film was just all of them like just hanging out. You know, maybe, yeah, you could, one of the criticism is, yeah, maybe it was a bit dumb that Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Peter Parker 1, was it? Spider-Man 1? Did take them all out and like ignore Doctor Strange. And, you know, even though he's trying to do the right thing, just took him to Happy's apartment, just let these villains just walk around, trusted Green Goblin, even though he quite clearly said that he had split personalities and that there was an evil inside of him. You know, I think we all knew that twist was going to come. That was an epic moment as well, when he had that spider sense tingling and he could sense that there was some different air in the room and the villains were turning, you know. In fact, that Electro was constantly going on about, I just want to get out there and get all the power and everything. I want to taste it. You know, come on, Spider-Man 1. Did you not at any point think that they were going to betray you? So a little bit dumb. Could have maybe kept them a little bit more locked up like you did with Dr. Octopus. But yeah, their interactions were so cool. Hearing them all chatting with each other, talking about each other's powers, hearing their origin stories and stuff. And what I actually really liked is the fact that Lizard and Sandman were in this a lot more. From the trailers, I was worried that they were just going to be like voiceless, only in a few scenes, not really going to play much, just kind of, you know, monsters in a giant army kind of a thing, you know, like the Chitauri and all that. They're just going to be there and just going to kind of be like fodder and just extra things. But no, they had their own scenes and their own little things. Maybe Lizard wasn't in it as much as some of the others. Sandman and Electro had a great little bromance, which I really appreciated. But yeah, but I am really appreciated that they were in it a lot more. I would say one criticism is that the film, even though there was the big whoops and the reveals, seeing Daredevil, seeing all of these villains, seeing both of the Spider-Men, there was no real big surprise moments, because either people just naturally speculated it. The fact that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it was such a bad secret anyway. I really kind of expected there to be at least one or two things in there where I was like, oh my god, they did that? That's why, like, I'm so hyped to talk about like the Doctor Strange trailer, because like Shuma Gorath and evil Doctor Strange was in there. I was like, that is genuinely new surprise information. But with this Spider-Man film, I didn't really get it. There was obviously moments in the film that were big surprises, like Aunt May dying. I thought maybe Happy was going to die, judging by the trailers. But in terms of like genuine surprises, there weren't really any. I did expect Venom to turn up. And that was a nice little surprise at the end. And then what happened with Venom at the end as well was a genuinely good surprise. But yeah, I kind of would have liked maybe, how cool would it have been if Japanese Spider-Man or Miles Morales, sorry. Sorry, I was trying to hold it in, I couldn't quite do it. Miles Morales turned up, you know, or just one more random villain turned up to make a real surprise, you know, that make an actual Sinister Six, or just some other random character just turned up, like, I don't know. You know, like, imagine if just like Wolverine just walked in, or like Deadpool, and it was like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh yeah, in my universe, I know a Peter Parker, that's why I'm here. But there wasn't really any of that. So it just kind of, every time there was a beat that was a surprise, I was like, okay, here's that beat that I was predicting. Maybe Ned using the sling ring was a genuine actual surprise too. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I love how Ned got hints of the fact that he is a villain at one point in the comics. And he was getting all kind of confused, and the joke there is that he was like, because obviously he's not a character in the other films, and he's like, hey, have you heard about me? And he's getting himself confused for like Osborn, and hearing them stories, he's thinking that Spider-Man's gonna kill him. I thought that was really fun. Maybe that could set him up in future films. Oh, I guess this also does kind of confirm that there is no Oscorp in the MCU. It is Stark instead. And then the big thing at the end, we got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man 1, sacrificing his existence, essentially, to save the universe. Biggest sacrifice. Really sweet, really sad ending. And a good way to end that trilogy. And if they don't do anything with it, you can explain mine. It's a good enclosed story, but gives options to do other things and move away from the Avengers. So, sorry again. All this talking, all this Spider-Man hype. Got to wrap it up soon. Yeah. Nice way of ending it. Does throw up a lot of questions, like how does that spell actually work? Does it like not just erase people's memories of Peter Parker, but about the videos of him with his mask off? Like, what about his birth certificate? You know, does Aunt May not have a nephew? Like, was a Peter Parker still born? Like, who sat in his chair in school? Was he still sitting there and no one could see him? Like, does it, like, oh, you've got J. Jonah Jameson saying, who was great as well in this, saying, I wish Peter Parker would, like, show his face. So what about his video where he announced his face? Was that erased? Was that, like, Thanos snapped away? Erased from the universe? The story? Did it delete the YouTube videos? That's a powerful spell. That's, like, Infinity Stone level powerful spell, you know? Why do you need the Infinity Stones when Doctor Strange can just do this, you know? Yeah, just the more you think about that thing, it makes less and less and less sense. And that's going to be like the nitpick I take away from it, because it's just going to be like, how does that, like, every time that, because they admit that Spider-Man's still there and Aunt May knew Spider-Man, so every single time he was always in his mask. Tony Stark was always talking to Peter, but he was always in his mask. He didn't know that he was actually Peter Parker. How did Iron Man find him? I guess maybe it kind of makes a new alternate universe in a sense, like a branch timeline, maybe, or just fills in, just alters people's memories. But everything actually still happened. It's kind of like an illusion in a sense. You know, what happens if Peter Parker gets arrested? Like, are they going to be able to not find any information about him or anything? Like, who is this guy? Does he have a bank? how's he access money in a bank? Like, yeah. Try not to think too much about that spell because it doesn't make sense. The old videos of him, did the spell Photoshop a mask over his face? All his family pictures, he's got Spider-Man mask on. When Happy appeared at the end next to Grave, I was like, is Happy going to be like, he's going to remember somehow? I didn't play it that way, which was really nice. You know, maybe hints with MJ. He saw the scar and he was like, are you okay? She's like, it's not hurting anymore. Saying it as in a way that maybe in some kind of subconscious level, she knew that Peter had shown, you know, care for it before. The way that she said it made it seem like it was a carry-on from a past conversation, maybe, or just maybe reading too much into it. Maybe she was just like, oh, don't worry about it. It doesn't hurt. It's just a plaster now, you know. But it could be a subtle hint that maybe there's a memory in there. Already got a little theory about how maybe the memories might get back. So Venom was in this. Eddie Brock from the Venom movies. So happy. I wish he was in it more. Sadly not. And sadly, he got teleported away with the rest of the villains. Which is sad because I really want that Venom and that Eddie in the MCU. But Venom leaves a splodge of himself there. And we know that it's a hive mind. Potentially has memories all across the universe, all across the multiverse, all shared in one symbiote memory web. So maybe, and it was kind of hinted that maybe Venom already recognized Spider-Man. So maybe memories of Peter Parker and who Spider-Man is still there in Venom. And when that new Venom in the MCU appears, it's a shame it's not going to be the Tom Hardy one, because I love that one. I wanted to hear his voice. I can do it better, but I was so afraid. But, Eddie, I wanted to hear that Venom's voice. But, no, we're not. But maybe we'll hear it with, like, Tom Holland or something. Or maybe it will go into, like, Flash Thompson. And, then the memories will start coming back. And then maybe at some point, like, MJ can touch it and get the memories, and Ned and get the memories, and that's how those memories of Peter Parker, of Tom Holland Spider-Man, get back into the MCU world, if ever needed. And then Flash will be like, oi, you promised that you'd announce that we were best friends and swing me to school, you know, you promised, and you went back on that. Now I'm a villain because you lied about your promise. So yeah, but Venom, a symbiote at least, in the MCU now, so that's really, really cool. Wonder what they're going to do with that. And does that mean that we're never going to get Spider-Man going into the Venom universe? Because Spider-Man is still in the MCU universe. Interesting. But there's still a Venom there, so it's going to be Spider-Man versus Venom. But it's not going to be... What are they going to do with that? I don't know. But then you have the Mobius film, or Morbius film, whatever. The one that, like, no one cares about. Do you care about it? Let me know in the comments below. I don't care about it. That's got Vulture in it. So, them universes are already a little bit confusing. Now they're a little bit more confusing. But it doesn't matter. I'm just happy that we actually got that Venom, that Eddie Brock, confirmed in an MCU film. and Daredevil as well. On the same day as Hawkeye episode 5. And that character got in there just before Spider-Man. So, they're really cool. Good day for Marvel. Good day for the multiverse. Good day for old franchises coming back into relevance, joining the MCU, the wider web of the MCU. And now, you know, yeah, those Andrew Garfield films, them Tom Holland films, all have a place now. You know, they're not just separate things. As good as they are separately, you can now watch them. If you're doing a massive MCU binge, they're kind of required watching in a way, you know. Fantastic. So yeah, and apart from that, like, my brain's just like all over the place. I can't really, I would say maybe I think like the jokes about can you get the cobwebs out of the corner and that, so some of the little jokes didn't quite land. It was funny the first time, then it kind of kept going on. It was like, okay, fine. but generally just really hype. William Dafoe and Dr. Octopus in particular, absolutely, the Goblin and Dr. Octopus were standout villain performances. Really like Dr. Octopus. Really like that he, like I was saying, like really humanized him, really gave him a lot of character. You got to see him, you know, he redeemed himself at the end of Spider-Man 2. And then that redemption came back here. Sandman kind of did the opposite as well, so it was interesting seeing both of them kind of flip as well. At the beginning, he was very much where he was left off, and then his buddyship with Electro kind of changed it. The other thing that was like, ooh, here's something that's genuinely a surprise. We saw a flash of like, looked like maybe Kraven the Hunter, the Scorpion, Rhino, definitely. I'm sure there are all other Easter eggs in those ghostly silhouettes in the sky. If they were to come through, what would happen? They'd all just fall, like just fall and land and die. The quickest villain fight ever. I think that's about it. I think that's going to wrap it up. This film that I can talk about for weeks, just like Avengers Endgame. I thought it was probably one of the best films so far in the MCU. Just fan service, joy, and good laughter and good action. Sometimes the lizard maybe looked a little bit like not the best CGI, but overall, what a good film. What an interesting film. Great performance all around. Tom Holland really did great, especially at the end. And the return in Spider-Man 2. Really enjoyed them all. And yeah, let's hope that the multiverse gets opened quite a few more times like it does look like it is going to be. And that's it. That's it. That's my review. Sorry about all the coughing. But I'm sorry, that can't be helped. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Bye. Let me know all your thoughts.